Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Force Chatter. We have a very interesting episode for you this week. And what makes it interesting is the lack of any interesting content. Yeah.
Way to sell it.
Figure that one out.
I was going to say, you're selling that really well.
I'm thinking about going into marketing, actually.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys want me here instead, but, someday. Maybe someday soon.
No. Tim, do you know of any really good competitors in your business? Like, send Eric.
Why would I want to work?
That's a great idea.
One of his competitors, Lou.
Well, you can do marketing for his competitors.
We'll talk offline. Okay, so I'm Eric.
It'll help.
Yeah. Lou is here and Tim is here. Lou, how are you doing?
I'm
Excellent.
doing great.
Tim, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm well. Thank you.
All right. I was doing well. I tell you what, I was looking forward to this weekend, looking back at last year's investors call, which now we're calling Disney Plus Day, apparently, because now it's a thing, right? Nobody likes the term investors call because it's so boring and corporate. And now they kind of caught up, right? Disney Plus Day. That makes more sense. See, they have the marketing people, not me. Yeah.
Oh. And they're doing that for themselves, for the people that are watching. It's like, oh, all the stuff you can watch on Disney Plus Day, not like for the new stuff. They adopted it for just the day.
Now we know.
It's
Now we know that, because I and a lot of other people I talked to were all thinking, okay, what are they going to announce this year? This is going to be great. And on top of whatever they're going to do for announcements, they're also launching some things actually in Disney Plus that day. No. So, I was thinking there's going to be a live stream to cover like we did last time, and that we'd have lots of content to discuss this time. Like last year, we had multiple episodes worth of content.
True.
This year, not so much. We have a sizzle reel for Kenobi.
Can I give something just to kind of give folks some perspective across all the Disney IP?
Yes, please do, because I'm using both a little bit of hyperbole and a little bit of frustration combined. So, Tim, you should step in.
So we recorded episode 200. We were really, really thrilled to record episode 200 of Guardians of the MCU.
I still plan to listen to that.
And the timing of it was supposed to be awesome because it was going to be on about all the Disney Plus Day stuff that we got for the MCU. Our title of the show, which John came up with, was a D+ for Disney Plus Day.
Ooh,
that was our grade.
That's very fitting.
The thing is, the stuff that we got was fine. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
But there was so much that we didn't get. It fell short of expectations. Underwhelming was the word that I used numerous times on Friday. And that's kind of across the board. That's for the MCU stuff. That's for Star Wars stuff. That's for across all of Disney IP. It just, for the amount of marketing and hype that was out there. And as you said, Eric, compared to what we had last year for Investors Day, which was whatever it was, 3 or 3.5 hours of live streamed stuff, crossing all their IP.
Yep.
Even though there were some things that, because we weren't investors watching it, basically we got blacked out for, like certain trailers and that kind of stuff. Still, we got an incredible amount of content. We had Kathleen Kennedy up front. We had Kevin Feige up front. We had all these, the studio presidents and vice presidents and all that stuff telling us everything that was going to be coming out and what's going on and what they've been doing and what they're working on and all this exciting stuff. We got crap.
Mm-hmm. We got one thing for Star Wars, and that's it. We got a Kenobi sizzle reel that I don't know if it was shorter than the Andor sizzle reel, but it felt like it was. That's it.
Well, there wasn't a lot of meat in that sizzle reel, so it was
and it was stuff that's already been rumored for a year anyway. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Right.
I have to say, in hindsight, I wish they saved the Book of Boba Fett trailer.
Yes. I have no idea why they released that early. No idea.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. They could have held it off for 2 weeks or whatever it was and given it to this day so you wouldn't have that letdown that Tim's feeling.
Because
the one thing about this is that this whole thing about being disappointing is not living up to our expectations. I mean, they never said this is going to be a yearly thing, that we're going to have huge announcements every year like this. We expected it, so we didn't get it. Now we're
But
upset.
they've been on radio silence for so long that, yeah, we expected it. Like, it's the one time you're going to open your mouth and say something. Yeah, the room's going to get quiet and we're going to pay attention, right? But the thing about the Book of Boba Fett trailer that really bothered me with this for Disney Plus Day is it actually increased my expectations, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, from a business point of view, if you have multiple really big things and you release them all on one day, people are talking about all of those things and you get people's attention one time. If you are releasing the Book of Boba Fett trailer the week before and you're kind of taking over that little area of fandom on the internet, then you're clearly going to do it again on Disney Plus Day. So you're trying to capture 2 days instead of just one. So like if you're spreading that out and you're blowing that one thing right out of the gate before the event, there's got to be something coming on the event that's like a big deal.
You would think, yeah, and I think we all thought that same thing.
And nothing. I really think that they should have saved it.
Let down a little bit.
I don't understand. And I get it. I think to your point, Lou, they didn't promise us anything. This is on us, fandom. We made assumptions.
We hit our expectations.
But I do believe that Disney probably should have understood, like they raised the bar last year. And yeah, they're calling it something different, but the name last year sucked. So of course you would call it something different because, come on, get your head straight, right? I mean, Disney Plus Day is better than, the Disney investor call. That's not a brandable, catchy.
And I got to say, for as disappointed as I was, certainly on the MCU side, we got something. We got a new trailer for Hawkeye. We got a reasonable teaser for Moon Knight, and we got sizzle reels for She-Hulk and for Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
And then we got these, I'll say announcements, but very softly, because all they did was throw title cards at us. Mm-hmm. And if you blinked, you missed them because it was literally that fast, for some new shows that they were putting out. On the Lucasfilm side, I was even more disappointed because we didn't even get that. There was no Lucasfilm special.
Yeah. There was nothing. Really.
Like the MCU had a 14-minute special, which is really only about 7 minutes of new stuff.
I was going to say, I'm trying to find it here in our Discord server where I typed in my response for this. So of that, 14 minutes, the first 8 minutes. Yeah, the first 8 minutes was all about footage. The shows we've already seen. Right.
Yeah.
And then we get a really good Hawkeye trailer with about maybe 50% new footage?
Yeah, it was good.
And then I think we got like 20 to 25 seconds of a collage of Moon Knight footage that was so vague that it if you don't know anything about Moon Knight, none of it's going to make any sense. If you do know stuff about Moon Knight, it's frustrating. You got, I think, 14 seconds of some various shots from She-Hulk. You got about 15 seconds of various shots. And when I say shots, I mean like a second and a half long at a time.
Yeah.
Of, I should say cuts of Ms. Marvel. Mm-hmm. And then you had a whole bunch of title cards. Yeah. So even the Marvel one, while more substantial than the Star Wars one, I kind of felt was kind of.
But the thing is, there wasn't even a Star Wars one. That's the thing.
You got the Kenobi one, and that's it. Yeah, there was no.
There wasn't a Star Wars one at all. And I got to say, for as disappointed as I was in that, I also was not surprised, because if folks have been listening to this show for a while, I am hugely disappointed in how Lucasfilm is announcing stuff, advertising stuff, promoting stuff, all that. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. And this like solidified that. I hate to say they don't know what they're doing, because there's stuff behind the curtain that I'm sure is freaking fantastic. But by God, open the curtain up a little bit.
No. I want to clarify. As Tim just pointed out, he's been talking this for a long time. So all of us that are upset about how Disney Plus Day was kind of a dud, Lucasfilm listened to Tim. It's Tim's fault. They said, you don't want us making announcements about stuff that hasn't actually happened yet and could change? Okay. And they dropped the mic and walked away. And it's all Tim's fault.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
They listened.
Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, that's...
No, I mean, you're right.
If you guys think I have that kind of influence, I've got a base on the moon of Endor to sell you.
No, I bought the one from Alderaan that he had. I wouldn't advise real estate details.
Hey, no give backs, no refunds.
Yeah. I want to say this, though. I feel like there were kind of a lot of missed opportunities here for people were like, well, what really could they tell us? And so, number one, they could have saved the Book of Boba Fett trailer. I think that was a big mistake. Like, in hindsight, I'm so confused now about that move. It makes no sense to me. We could have gotten actual footage from the Andor series because it's far enough along in production now.
Oh, absolutely.
We could have got actual footage from Kenobi. We got zero footage from Kenobi. It was all concept art. We could have had some footage. And again, we will come back to what we did get from Kenobi in just a minute, which honestly is not much. A couple of notable things, but like two things.
I like the Boba Fett special. I thought that was pretty good.
Okay. Yep. And we're going to come back to that too. I agree with you. I did like that. But again, not an announcement, almost more of like what they do with Marvel Legends, where they cover, like they just released Marvel Legends Hawkeye because the Hawkeye series is about to start. So it's a refresher of the Hawkeye character, but it's all like in world content there. This is a little bit different because this is more behind the scenes and they go into, Jeremy Bullock.
This was deeper.
Daniel Logan, Tem, etc. Mm-hmm. But so we did get that. We know that Rangers of the New Republic is still on board, but we know nothing about it. We could have gotten a show description. We could have gotten a show description for the Acolyte. We could have gotten a show description for Lando. And I'm talking like just the paragraph. Join Lando as he traverses the galaxy in search of the Sith MacGuffin that was stolen from Traxalor 7, or like just some little paragraph thing. That's it. So Rangers of the New Republic, the Acolyte, and Lando, we could have gotten something for that. And then here's the big thing. Rogue Squadron has been delayed. And I don't think Lucasfilm has actually said this. I don't know. But
I don't think so.
We're getting it from Hollywood Reporter and other various like official professional news sites that don't post stuff like this as definitive unless it's true because their reputation as a company is on the line. We know that this is reliable material. Rogue Squadron has been delayed. It's officially due to Patty Jenkins having too many projects on her plate and not enough time to do it. Unofficially, there were some reports of some problems in pre-production, and they would not have been ready to start the movie on time anyway. And it's been delayed indefinitely. So we have 6 theatrical releases. We have the Rian Johnson trilogy that is still just kind of up in the air. That was announced, never canceled.
Very up in the air.
The Benioff and Weiss trilogy was let go. We still have the Taika Waititi project. We still have the Kevin Feige project. And we have the Patty Jenkins project. We have 6 different theatrical releases. We have no idea when any of them are going to show up. We have no idea what any of them are going to be. We don't have a title. We don't know what era any of them are set in. There's so much that they could have given us just a tiny, tiny little sliver of information, and it would have made people just over the moon happy. It would have been the talk of the town for weeks. We have zero information about if there's ever going to be another Star Wars theatrical release, because for all we know, things are just going to keep bouncing around. And, when my son is raising his children, there'll be some announcement about, oh, hey, Star Wars is going back to theaters again.
Did we ever announce in here? I know we mentioned on Guardians that Chloe Zhao is apparently going to be the director of the Kevin Feige produced Star Wars film.
I don't remember if we mentioned it or not.
I don't think we have.
What else has she done?
She's the director of Eternals.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think we mentioned it here.
Yeah, so just it's maybe a little more than a week ago, I think.
And was that official?
Is when they? No, this is one of those
yeah,
major news outlet things. A Variety,
right.
THR, or something like that.
So again,
so it's 90% there, but it's reliable but not official.
They have enough information. They could have given us something. Right. Hey, a new Star Wars adventure set in the High Republic era. Like just even that, like anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit ridiculous that we have no information on the upcoming theatrical releases. And then, of course, there's the rumored stuff. There are 2 animated series that are rumored to be coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, overall, the announcements were less than satisfactory.
I would just say there wasn't even an announcement.
To have, well, I mean, in general for Disney Plus, not just Star Wars,
fair.
but to have really nothing. And to your point, nothing for Star Wars. It's like, wow, it feels like we're being left out, doesn't it? I mean, not that it gave any more love to something else that was like, oh my God, they gave us so much stuff over on this side that we're just amazing. Yeah. We don't have that either. Right. But to have nothing, it was like, gosh, it's like you've had a couple false starts already, and you should really build something up to knock something out of the park really well. I mean, you had a couple false starts with theatrical releases. Now you've got some good traction for TV series that have been coming out that people have been really enjoying. Build on that. Let's keep us excited. Yeah. Let's keep us going with this.
Yeah. Even the Marvel stuff too. The only new items were title cards as far as like new announcements. Mm-hmm. The Echo series, the
and Echo was not a new announcement. That's something that's
was that official before?
It wasn't official before, but again, it was like a Variety THR
it was so
thing.
Well rumored.
Yeah. I mean, the Agatha one we knew was coming, but we got a title of it.
Yeah.
We kind of time it was rumored.
The X-Men animated Return of the X-Men animated series.
That was new. That was the one
Spider-Man animated series.
That and the new Spider-Man animated series. I did not know the X-Men. What is it? X-Men 97. I did not know that was coming. Yes. That caught me out of the blue. That was the one surprise for me for the whole Disney Plus day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and talk Kenobi then. We did get 2 things out of the Kenobi sizzle reel. We got some really good concept art. One of those pieces of concept art had a ship. And if you zoom in on the ship, you see what appears to be one of the Inquisitor sisters walking off the ship.
Which I'm very excited about. If they're going to whether they're bringing back sister, which I don't think they are because the timing doesn't work out well and she's dead. Or they're giving us another one. I think it's fantastic. I like the Inquisitors. I'm excited. I like it.
I'm glad that and here's one of the other things. Like I can talk about it now, right? Like I'm starting to look forward to the Kenobi series because I know that it's not going to all take place on Tatooine, and I kind of know what the basic plot's going to be and what some of the milestones are going to be. And I couldn't really say anything about Inquisitors, but now I can because they showed it in the concept art. So, hey, Inquisitors are here. Shouldn't say too much about other things, but it does directly imply, as well as the other off-world concept art pieces, that Kenobi will be traveling, that it will somehow involve, the implication is that it will somehow involve the hunting of Jedi, and Inquisitors will be involved.
Which is cool. That is a story that we have needed to see on film. We've seen some different iterations of it in books and in comics. And it'll be nice to kind of see some of it. I mean, even though we're only going to get, I think, just a small bit of it. That whole thing of them hunting Jedi after Order 66, like it's something that has kind of always fascinated me because it's a big universe, and beforehand, we never, for many years, we never had Inquisitors. So we didn't know was it just Vader that was out hunting them? We didn't know what was going on. And so now this kind of builds upon it even more. And I'm excited.
Lou, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited for it, more so now than when it was before, but I'm still worried that, what can they really tell and make me feel comfortable with what they're telling me? Because all this time, Kenobi's supposed to be kind of hidden away, just kind of watching over Luke, making sure things are going well. And the more he is out doing his thing and becoming, gaining notoriety, for lack of a better term, the more he's on somebody's radar that, hey, that's that guy we were supposed to kill before. It's just, it strikes me as being irresponsible from the character standpoint.
That's a Marvel series.
Well, for now. Still working on that. Lucasfilm, you listen to some of our suggestions and not others. I mean, come on. What if Kenobi had a specific reason for needing to go off-world?
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure they'll make that very plausible. But to me, it's just, you're taking a chance of doing something that, you've been told by the Force ghosts that, you had one job, and don't screw this up type thing. And the more he does things off world and becomes, noticed.
Yeah.
The worse that could be for him. I'm sure it's not going to, but it's like, well, how, if they're really scouring the galaxy for Jedi and all of a sudden there's this guy doing Jedi-like stuff that, hey, that maybe we should investigate that, or I'm going to call up and say, hey, I just saw this guy with a laser sword.
Well, to that point, that brings us to our second thing, which is that they confirmed that Hayden Christensen is coming back specifically as not Anakin Skywalker, but as Darth Vader. And there was a piece of concept art showing a duel, and it looked like stuff was on fire behind them. It didn't look like Mustafar. Like at first, without zooming in, I thought, oh, yeah, Mustafar is it? People are talking about, are they going to
that's kind of what I thought
go
too,
back and kind of like reimagine that battle, or is it going to be a new battle or something? It looks like stuff's burning, like I don't know, a village on fire or something like that in the background. And I wonder if that's going to be like kind of the culmination. It almost has to be like the end part of the series, right? I mean, because where do you go from there? That has to be the end. You don't do that in the beginning because then you have nowhere to go upward to from there.
Right.
So
does it, I mean, something that John and I were talking about this a few days ago, and he brought up something that I thought was really valid, which was, does an encounter between Kenobi and Vader take away from the encounter that they had in episode 4?
I kind of personally feel like it does. I don't want to see this.
I agree.
Lou?
I think it depends on how they do it, and this is my worry too. That what can he do, both out in the world and also meeting Vader, and not have it disrupt what we already know. So, the exact words between them on that infamous fight escaped me at the moment.
When last we met, I was but the
like,
learner. Now I am the master, I think.
Yeah. And, it says, in the presence I haven't felt since, when he storms off. And
He forgot his line.
So he never really said when it was. Yeah, probably. Never said when it was, but, I don't know. I always liked the fact that there was no interaction between when Kenobi, Ginsu'd him on Mustafar and left him there burning on the side of the slope, and then see him on the Death Star. I guess it depends on how they play it. What kind of interaction they have.
I kind of feel like that line about being the learner and the master makes sense in episode 4. It makes perfect sense, especially after the Clone Wars series. So now, I feel like now it's no longer going to be referring to that. It's going to be referring to a totally new battle. And so we know that Obi-Wan has to kick Vader's butt, or else the line doesn't make sense. So right out of the gate, you're telegraphing the dynamics of the battle, who's going to win, Who's going to have the upper hand? Who's going to walk away with the upper hand? Neither of them are going to die. And back to what you were saying, Lou, now Vader has both a reminder that Obi-Wan is out there and a really, really good chance of tracking him back to wherever he is. And he doesn't, it's not one of those things where he's going to walk away thinking he bested Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan's going to pull a Yoda from episode 3 and like curl down through a ventilation duct and escape somehow. No, because he thought he was still but the learner and now he's the master because of the quote in episode 4. So Vader has to know that he lost. Like there's so much there that you risk diminishing or watering down the value of that epic line in episode 4. I think you don't mess with that. I'm all for bringing Hayden back. Without question, I want Hayden to come back. I'm not liking.
I'm so ambivalent about it.
I'm not liking another duel between the two.
No, see, I was much happier when this was a flashback, or that kind of thing. But having him see him after the events, after the whole burning thing on Mustafar.
Yeah.
I don't really have any
They're
desire
hyping
to see
this like
that.
it's the rematch of the century or something. It's like, well, we didn't need a rematch. That was already the ultimate battle. That was the best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars. Interspersed with one of the crappiest. But why do you need a rematch? I'm sorry. I did not like the little video game Yoda versus the video game Palpatine thing. I thought that was crap, but loved Hayden versus Ewan. Like that was absolutely incredible. The choreography for it, the intensity of the battle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about John Wick kind of setting the standard for fight choreography now, but there's still also this. Like
it was almost as good as the battle with the Gungans.
Wow, Tim's connection is really bad on Skype. Did you
it
hear
would suck
that?
if you got disconnected entirely, wouldn't it?
Wow. It would. It would.
Like if I hit the look at that. Oops.
There he goes. We can only hear him as a Force Ghost now.
Our audio podcast listeners don't get what happened. They need to go over to youtube.com/randomchatter and subscribe so they catch stuff like that.
Our fans are going to start a change.org petition to prevent you from doing that.
Okay. Well, hey, I mean, those work clearly.
Now, we are still sure this is only a limited series, right? This is only a one-shot, 6 or 8 episodes, whatever it's going to be.
There's no way they're going to continue it. There's just not a chance. There's just not.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I expect it to be really good. This is one of those aspects that I don't know what the hell they're thinking with it. And maybe what we're thinking, what we're talking about is not what we're actually going to be getting. Maybe it's a little bit of misdirection. I don't know. But
I mean, they're really promoting, like if you listen to them talk in this sizzle reel though, they're promoting it like it's, and in this corner, Don King is going to come out with the hair and everything and
Pompadour.
Yeah. Little guy in the center with the ring with the mic that comes down and the let's get ready to something I can't say because it's trademarked. Yeah. They're labeling it like it's a rematch. So I don't think we're reading it wrong. And maybe we are, but if we are, then Lucasfilm really needs to work on setting fan expectations because wow.
I mean, just from the concept art, that's what we're reading from.
I think Deborah Chow actually mentioned
the poster.
That go back and look at is there anybody in the chat room here who happens to remember exactly what Deborah Chow said about that? Because I kind of recall her saying something about the wording of she mentioned bringing Hayden back as Darth Vader, and then there's a little more talk, and then she said something about the rematch everybody's wanted to see or something like that.
No, it's not.
No, I agree. It's not. I don't want to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they fought twice in history. And that's what it's supposed to be.
We could move on to the Under the Helmet. Not to be confused with Beneath the Dome. the documentary on R2D2?
Or Under the Dome, the book from
True.
King.
I think Beneath the Dome was better. Get into R2D2's womanizing days and his substance abuse.
Oh gosh, that was
That was
funny.
so good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah. Anyhow.
If you haven't seen it, folks, look it
Yeah,
up.
for real. You can get it on Amazon. I
Good
had to
stuff.
buy another copy of it. I lent it to people over and over again. I think somebody didn't return it to me, but you can still get it. And it's cheap too. It's like under $10. But yeah, Under the Helmet. You guys both watched it, yes?
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's kind of hard because stuff about The Empire Strikes Back has been around for so long. And if you're a massive Boba Fett fan, you've probably heard almost all this stuff anyway. So it was kind of nice, and it was good to hear from Daniel Logan and Tamara Morrison and from Jeremy Bullock's wife and from some of the other people who were involved in Boba Fett that we normally don't get to hear from. But there was nothing really like new or groundbreaking. It was a very just like nostalgic.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It wasn't great or outstanding. I like how it was structured. I mean, they left out John Morton, who also played Boba Fett.
Did he?
There's another actor that they left out. Yeah, John Morton did a Cloud City scene when Jeremy Bullock was not available.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
And while it was only one scene, they also spent time on someone who, some visual effects dude who put on the uniform who was never even in a friggin' movie. So
well, they were talking about that
kind of
because it
ticked
was
me
the
off
first.
that they're like,
it was the introduction of Boba Fett to the rest of the crew.
yeah.
So it was the first time anybody had worn the uniform. So like I kind of get it. Yeah, I'm with you though. Like there were some things that were left out, but it was only a half hour long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Yeah.
it was good though.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen
20
it,
to 30
it's
minutes.
worth watching.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's it. That was Disney Plus Day.
There it is.
Yeah. I think for me, the big Star Wars moments from this weekend were me going to Target and they had their t-shirts on sale. And so I got a Stormtrooper with a Santa Claus hat t-shirt that says Merry Sithmas.
Well, nice.
Yeah. I think I paid like $8 for it too. So, score. And then
I still gotta find me a
Target
holiday
had those
sweater.
too. They had some Grogu ugly sweaters. Yep.
Did they?
And
okay,
then
nice.
I got this far this afternoon. Want to take
And
3
that
guesses on what that
is-
is?
Slave
I
One.
angle it this way, so there's a little bit of green in there, maybe not so much.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
The bottom part of Slave One for the Ultimate Collector's Series.
Nice.
I've had this and the R2D2 in boxes ever since I moved here, figuring, when I move for real to where I actually really want to end up, then I'll unbox decorations and collectibles and stuff. It's been sitting there, never touched. So I started on it today, only put maybe, I don't know, hour or two into it so far. So
Cool.
that was my making up for the Disney Plus Day dud part of the weekend. But
So Joe in the chat said that she does not mention the
okay, I was wrong. Okay, that's fair.
So
I'll admit when I was wrong. Unlike Tim, who, convinced Lucasfilm to just not make any announcements in case they had to change something later, and then, won't take the blame on behalf of the entire Star Wars community. Thanks, Tim.
I have some incredible influence.
Apparently.
With several studios over at Disney.
Apparently.
It's,
nice.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing, and it's all very inadvertent. It's the things that I don't want to have happen will happen, and the things I really wish for just don't happen at all. Us
getting casted in Book of Boba Fett didn't happen. Still waiting on the call for Mando season 3.
didn't get your call?
All right, so we're going
I
to
got a
try this.
restraining order. I didn't get a phone call. I guess, paper is still more official.
We're going to try this. I really, really hope that we do not get cast in a future Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I mean, we have to take time off work, travel.
Oh, it'd be terribly inconvenient.
Right, it would be.
Meeting new people, when you're kind of shy, that'd be horrible.
And who wants, screen used armor? It's used.
Yeah, right.
Duh.
It's not even new at that point. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. You guys have anything else before we wrap the show?
No.
Okay. Well,
there is nothing else. What, if we're going to talk about Disney Plus Day? No, there's nothing else.
There's nothing
Really,
else.
that's
I mean,
it.
really.
I mean, I could plug the fact that I'm going to, Orlando in 2 weeks.
Well, that's true.
I'm excited because it'll be my first time going to Galaxy's Edge and seeing the stuff down there. But, I booked my lightsaber building thing. So
you went with the lightsaber build. I know you were choosing between that and the droid building.
I'll be next to a couple kids and, trying to make sure they don't steal my stuff.
When they have their back turned, lean over and steal their kyber crystal.
You have to fight them off for pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Have
like
you?
There's going to be one left of a hilt piece that you really want, and like some 9-year-old, and it's going to be you're going to have that gut check, Lou, of do you get beaten by a 9-year-old or do you punch him in the face?
I don't quite think that's how any of that works, but
it might.
Have you
don't know.
Have you looked online at the different choices and options you have and chosen your crystal color and your hilt style? And I did. I built like 3 sabers in my head already. The week that Batu came out. Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Lizzie is gonna be down there as well. She's meeting me on Friday the 3rd. We're gonna do the parts together and enjoy the day.
Maybe we should have you like live stream in from Batu.
Maybe
that could be interesting.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. Well, you will have to give us a review of what you think. In the meantime, so this is a warning right now. We've got Lou. Obviously, he's going to review things when he comes back. The holiday season, we typically take a couple of weeks off. And there's not really going to be anything coming out Star Wars-wise between now and December 29th when we get the Book of Boba Fett, after which we, of course, will be getting online and recording some reviews, even despite it being our traditional holiday hiatus. I think we're going to break the rules for that one a little bit. But what that means is that we've got some time to fill. So we are once again asking you, the listeners, to give us some feedback on what you would like us to cover. You can ask us questions. The AMA that we did a while back, a couple episodes ago, that was a lot of fun. And I know there's still other questions out there, so you guys can send in questions like that. You can send us deeper, longer, more open-ended questions, or give us topics of things that you would like to see, that you would like to see us answer on the show, as far as like general discussion, like bigger things that we haven't really covered yet. Star Wars mashups.
And the more things that involve Gungans, the better.
And if it involves Gungans, we'll forgive you. It's okay. Everybody has their own little crazy worlds of Star Wars fandom that, we forgive you. The looks at Tim were not intentional. That was coincidental. I was just thinking Star Wars mashups. Why have we never seen a Christmas Carol with Force Ghosts?
Oh my gosh, that would be fantastic. Well, it's an intellectual property issue. But I mean, hell, the Muppets have done it.
Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol?
Oh, maybe
I think it's public domain. I think that's one of the reasons we have seen so many variations.
And if it's not Disney,
right? I mean, it's Disney.
That's true. Well, but like I said, the Muppets have done it. So either it's public domain or Disney has already bought rights to it. So I don't know.
So there you go.
The rights are going to be licensed per thing, but
see, there's a whole conversation we could have right there. Who would the main character be? Who would the Force Ghosts be? Maybe we should save that for next week. But stuff like that too, it can be silly, creative things, or it can be deeper philosophical things. So let us know. Put it in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, email us at forcechatter@randomchatter.com. Hop into the Discord server at randomchatter.com/Discord. Let us know what you would like to listen to us talk about. Okay? All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Force Chatter. If you're watching us live, stick around. We will be back in a few minutes with Random Chatter. And otherwise, we will see you again next week with probably no Star Wars news, but we are going to find ways to celebrate and to participate in the Star Wars fandom. So,
and to entertain you.
Certainly that.
Exactly.
Because by gosh, if we can't be entertained, we are at least going to entertain you.
We're going to try.
I mean, Tim with a Gungan mask.
Ooh. That's both scary and entertaining. Almost kind of more of a Halloween thing, here. But yeah. Okay. All right. That's going to do it for this episode. We will see you again next